2, 1, go. All right, this is a lovely planet. You run and jump right now. And already, we've got Sigma taking a hit. Basically, anything red you see is most likely going to kill them. There's no health mechanic in this game. It's just you get hit, you die.
Yep, so Bullet's off to a very quick lead, but that'll probably change over the course of the run. As you can see, the basis of each level is that they just have to get to this purple pillar to end the level after taking out all the baddies by shooting them with these shots.
Nice. We're 1-0. Yeah, and one of the cool things is that you don't always have to shoot the actual baddie. You can actually shoot their shot, and you'll see on Bullet's screen he didn't even hit them because their shots hit each other, and Sigma following suit about 6 seconds later.
Yeah, all shots in this game created equal. Some of these enemies, as mentioned, you can take them out by shooting their shots, and other enemies, they don't actually shoot at you, so it's all good. Here, we're coming up to the hardest level in the run. As soon as Bullets gets through this, Sigma taking back the lead, and he is going to make this very tight jump here.
Oh, he fell once, unfortunately. He's going to have to go around the long way. Bullets, I think, yeah, Bullets had a better job there, so he took the lead back. And very fast-paced run, as we were mentioning here, folks. You can also shoot through walls sometimes, which is pretty neat.
Yep. So we're here at the last level of the first area. Kind of like Super Meat Boy, you don't have to finish each level in each world. So we are going to be moving on.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So Bullets is going to be quitting the game. As Sigma's going to be moving on to the next world, Village.
Wow, that was the fastest reload of the game I've ever seen. Bullets didn't actually lose that much time, all things considered, but Sigma is going to have a bit of a lead here. Now, the cool thing about Village is really every world they try to introduce kind of new mechanic. And, ooh, wow, Sigma taking a fall there. It's going to leave a window open for Bullets. Bullets actually managed to get up top, so he's really basically caught up that lead, that deficit from closing the game. But yeah, so one of the things they added in this world, or one of the important things about this world, is that there are these apples that are flying up in the air, and if any of the apples land on the ground, you will instantly die. So they either need to beat the apple to the finish, or they need to shoot it out of the air.
That's right, and as you see in some of these levels, there will be apples kind of already in the air because they're doing these levels in kind of a weird order. So the apples might or might not get triggered early, or might not get triggered at all. So you might see that there's just an apple sitting there on the ground, like that one near that pillar there. That is just, it's just going to be there. They don't have to do anything to it.
Yep. And it looks like both the runners are virtually tied right now, which is fantastic. This is exactly what we were hoping for from this race. One of the other things to note is that some of the platforms, the blue platforms that they're jumping out into space on, are actually destructible. So, for example, here, when if they had shot one of those blue platforms, they could have fallen to their death very easily.
Yep, so an incredibly narrow lead for Sigma right here. You got your first look right there. If you didn't blink at a helicopter enemy, they just have a nice little propeller beanie that they use to float in the air. That was pretty cool.
Wow, with Sigma maybe a beat ahead if anything. And nice little shot there. Ooh, Sigma Fawn taking a death, and he's going to have to try this again. Looks like, ooh, still having trouble hitting that enemy, so going to be losing some time here. Bullet's doing a bit better, and is going to be making his way to the exit of the level.
Yep, Sigma not too far behind. Bullet's showing off another thing here in this level that you haven't seen before, civilians. Civilians are the blue, not quite baddies, they're goodies. And if you manage to shoot them, you will immediately lose the level and you'll have to redo it. So obviously they're going to want to take care for that.
And sometimes some of the neat platforming that they're doing actually lines up the baddies to be able to hit the civilians on a direct line, so they have to be very careful of that.
Yep, this level terrifying with those 3 apples that you have to shoot out midair. Casual players hate it. And now we're moving on to the third area, Forest.
Yeah, Bullet's already in there. Sigma has now just followed suit. And Forest introduces a new mechanic, which are these enemies with the hats. And the hat enemies shoot bullets that are shoot shots that will actually home in on you. And the shots are slower than your shots, so you can shoot them in time. But they do move faster than you can move, so you can't outrun them.
Yep. So we're seeing not too much of a difference right here, but it's still, you know, it's just enough that it's within striking distance for Sigma as Bullets is working his way through some of these levels. Again, that's a place where he had to take out that baddie, and he had a possibility of shooting that platform out from under him, but fortunately did not. There's some precise long shots from Bullets to get an enemy that was way, way off in the distance, and he managed to pull it off, so that was very nice.
Yeah, looking like a lot of good aim from both of our runners here so far. And one of the other cool things is that these shots that they're shooting are actually, you know, projectiles, so they are having to lead their targets a lot of the time, especially since they are moving while also shooting.
And And so another mechanic that you may just be seeing here is these, little fields that make the high-pitched noise. Basically, it's like a timed proximity mine. After a little bit of a delay, it becomes armed, and then if you step into that little white area, you will immediately die. So obviously, they don't want to do that, but fortunately, it will be pretty much irrelevant in every level based on their routing.
Yeah, it's important to note, too, that when these runners are firing shots at the enemies, if you look at their gun, you can see these blue and yellow kind of sparkles and stars flash off them. Blue means that a shot just hit something, and yellow means that it hit an enemy, or that rather that an enemy died. So they can use that to know whether they're landing their shots or not.
All right, so we're seeing about a 1-level difference here right now, where Bullets is still in the lead. But again, that can change at any time. Even one unfortunate death easily eats, up to 10 seconds, and that's enough to even the race again.
Yeah, especially with the next world being probably the most difficult in the run.
Yep, and some very precise jumping and really nice execution at that level from Bullets as well.
Yeah, again, he can't really spam those shots if otherwise he would shoot the platform out from underneath himself, so he has to specifically time all of them, and he's doing a great job of it so far.
Yeah, one little neat difference between these two runners is that Bullets is his practice. Most of these levels, he's confident shooting kind of a more minimum number of shots, where Sigma tends to just go with the the spray and pray kind of thing. Well, I mean, he has aim, obviously, but he just kind of throws as many shots out because there's no reason not to.
Right, shoots a few for safety whenever he doesn't have to worry about a civilian or a platform.
All right. I've totally lost track of where our runners are compared to each other.
Bullets is still in the lead for sure, and is going to be coming up on the next world pretty soon, but still trying to take out some of these apples and all these enemies. As you can see, the madness flies pretty quickly in this run.
Yep. And in this world, Forest, we are aiming to complete 16 levels. It was 11 in the previous two worlds, and coming up soon we'll be hitting Swamp, and it's going to be 17 there. So not too many levels in the 80% run. The developers pretty much included like these levels.
Oh, Bullets actually shot a civilian there, so that's going to be a pretty costly death, but Sigma takes a death immediately after, so not quite a lead change here. But
yeah,
probably a bigger death, I would say, from Bullets there, so Sigma to catch up a little time until that couple of deaths in a row, unfortunately, is going to cost him quite a bit of time, and Bullets is heading right on into Swamp with...
he missed the
level. He must have... Yeah, so actually, if you don't complete the right... all the levels that you need to, then you actually won't be able to move on, and you can actually skip levels by accident when you think you've completed it if you're not quite hearing the audio.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Okay, it was 3-22, so he's getting back in there. Sigma is catching up a little bit now. At the end of each level, this is worth noting that they're skipping the ending sequence by pressing tab to go to the next level immediately. But in this case, Bullets just missed the cue and didn't realize that he had not finished the level.
Yeah, he is the first one to head to Swamp, though, and he's immediately having to do some pretty hard platforming and shots. As you can see with Swamp, there are a few different mechanics here. There are going to be some shots that are coming out of nowhere from no actual enemies.
That's right, and this also has a ton of fog, so it feels like a nice, good old-fashioned N64 game.
Are we not playing GoldenEye here? I thought that's what we were doing.
Pretty much. Or Turok, whatever.
Yeah. See that one tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, now Sigma has moved on to Swamp now, so it's still pretty close between these runners. And Swamp, as we mentioned, is the hardest world here for both of them. Now, one of the other mechanics introduced in this world... Ooh, Bullets taking a death to those spikes. That's going to be rough for him. One of the other mechanics introduced in this world are these spinning enemies with tops.
Yep, they're the little tall red guys with yellow hats. Yellow hats always making enemies more scary. In this case, they make it so that they kind of charge up, and after about 4 seconds or something, if they're still going, you haven't shot them yet, they kill you, period, anywhere in the level. So that is really going to come into play in a couple places. For the most part, they're going to be right in the way, but soon they're going to get to a level where it's going to be really rough if they don't manage to nail one of those from a distance.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell, but I believe Sigma... Oh, until that death was about one level behind, but that death might cost them quite a bit here. Again, talking about deaths within, that are only 10 seconds of time cost, but in a 10-minute run, that's pretty much all that it takes.
Yeah, and an individual level-based game like this one, you basically can't afford like any serious mistake because it's always based around. Here's that level.
Yeah, now Bullet's going for a blind shot here after jumping off that billboard. Did a good job there, and he's having to shoot an enemy in the distance. He actually did get the shot, so that's really good.
Excellent. Meanwhile, Sigma is still making his way through the Swamp levels, but he's still about 1 or 2 levels behind as Bullets is making great time. He's nailing all these shots. He's really taking out everything in his way.
And let's take a look on the right again. Sigma coming up on that pretty much the most difficult level in Swamp, and he got his blind shot as well,
Yep.
so he was able to move on. Good job from both of them.
Yeah, Tiny know that you see his gun light up when he nailed that shot, so you could tell that he had hit the target that he wanted to hit.
Yeah, the other thing to talk about with Swamp are these eyelashes that you're seeing out in the void and that they're jumping into. If you haven't picked it up by now, they're basically just portals, little teleporters that'll take you elsewhere. You could shoot through them as well, but not always necessary, and really not really at all in 90% now.
We're rapidly coming to the end of the run. Just a few levels left here as Bullets is making, really, his execution is fantastic here. He's hitting all his shots. Here you see he's going to take out that shot and that apple before it drops. Very, very close. Sigma making this jump up here to finish this level before an apple drops.
Oh, Bullet's taking the death there, unfortunately. He's going to be picking that one back up, that level, starting the level back over again, sorry.
That's a quick one. He is able to make that little precise jump through that narrow space. Coming to the last couple levels of Swamp here.
Yeah, and that bit of neat platforming was really, I think, what the Ronos have agreed is the last bit of hard platforming in Swamp. So
That's
Bullets
right.
is now on the final level. Time is coming up very shortly. A new mechanic was also introduced in the mountain. Again, they only have to do one level, and that's if you shoot the tall blue enemies, you actually teleport. So get ready for Time.
Yep. Jumping up onto this hill. He misses it, but it doesn't matter because he's going to come to the end, and time is now.
Nice, dude.
Excellent job from Bullets there. Sigma is now on the final level as well, so we're still getting a very close race here.
That's right. Absolutely amazing execution from both players. Just
if Sigma gets the jumps, he redeems himself. And he didn't quite get ready and trying to time it. Swag it out with a 360 no scope at the end.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'd like to point out that in the pre-show you said you'd be within 15 seconds, and you were within 18 seconds. So I'm sorry, but we're going to have to revoke your badges. You're no longer here, no longer able to stay at the event. But no, that was a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed Lovely Planet. Any last words from our runners here?
None. That was a lot of fun to do. I'm really happy with how that race turned out, except for quitting out of the game.
Yeah, it never happens, right? I just want to say thanks a lot to Hobbs and Vula for coming up and commentating. They've never ran this game. They maybe played it a little bit.
I've never played it. No.